Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Florida Weather Watch YouTube channel. My name is Daniel, and welcome to the Florida Weather Watch's Independence Day weather forecast for the state of Florida. Before I continue, a few notes. Number one, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button below so we can grow this Florida Weather Watch community. Number two, hit that like button if you like all the forecast content videos that I do provide. And number three, if you ever feel like you have any comments, any questions, any feedback to improve this channel, improve videos in the future, please comment down below. I read all comments and I welcome all constructive feedback that will help improve this channel. Now, the second thing I must note is yes, I do apologize for being absent for over a month from YouTube. It was never my plan, but what I realized is after ending the school year, my ninth year teaching, I definitely needed to take some time to focus on rebuilding my physical health, my mental health, and to get some things that were very important that needed to be done in my own personal life done before I come back into weather forecasting and YouTube. But at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to say all that stuff has been accomplished. Everything is ready to go and move forward in the future. So I do plan on being much more consistent back in YouTube as I was a couple months ago. And I hopefully you do understand that sometimes people do need to take some time to focus on themselves and improving their lives, bettering their physical and mental health. And hopefully you do appreciate that. Without further ado, though, let's get into the weather forecasting that you came here for, ladies and gentlemen. And I figured let's get right into the Independence Day forecast, ladies and gentlemen. So when we go ahead and we take a look at the forecast coming up, ladies and gentlemen, there's some things that we need to note. First of all, what is currently going on in our atmosphere? That's going to be affecting us over the next several days. Well, the next few days, now that Independence Day is in just a couple of days on Tuesday. What I'm going to first show you is the water vapor imagery for the Western Atlantic and the Eastern United States here. And why am I showing this? Because it tells us how storms and systems and just weather in general is moving around our atmosphere and in our area of the world. And what it really comes to note here, ladies and gentlemen, is we do have a pretty significant area of high pressure that has been really dominating everything in the southeast United States until recently, where we've had many days of very intense heat going on across the south. And that has not changed at all recently. It has just been getting more and more intense with the heat. Many areas in northern Florida know that all too well at this point, with feels like temperatures almost 110 degrees. I mean, come on, that's very intense heat. But what's been causing it is this area of high pressure right here. And how do we know it's an area of high pressure? Well, let's first of all look at the bigger picture. Okay, let's look at what's going on in the atmosphere. Obviously, you can see we have a couple of storm systems going on here. We have one that's over the Great Lakes here that's just spinning away. We have another little disturbance right here that's not going to become anything tropical, by the way. And the same thing down here. We have areas of storminess and spins here in the atmosphere that are creating some thunderstorms and some showers. But typically between it, you'll see some areas where there's calm weather. And that's what this high pressure is right here. And how do we know it is an area of high pressure? We look at how the air is flowing. And if the air is flowing clockwise around a center, we know that's high pressure. Okay, actually, since I think cameras reverse it, it would be going around this way, if I'm not mistaken, on camera views. And the way we know that is look at the clouds and the water vapor here. Okay, notice how it's much lighter to darker colors here. That means there's drier air. And you can notice that right here in the Atlantic, you are starting to see that that clockwise spin where you're seeing these storms rotate up and over and around this area of high pressure that has built in over the eastern United States in the Atlantic here. Okay, why am I showing this? Well, it's going to stay in place for the next few days at least. And this area of high pressure is going to dominate the weather and be the reason why some areas of the state are hotter than others, and why we may see a little bit more in the way of rain and thunderstorms in the southern part of the peninsula. Because what I want you to also notice here, ladies and gentlemen, is there's a bit of a pocket of moisture uh, that is right over here near the Yucatan and edging towards South Florida. And some of this moisture may try to stream a little bit into South Florida and into the southwest part of the state. So it may create some more enhanced showers and thunderstorms, nothing that we're not used to down here. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, all these areas right here that are spinning away, not going to be any threat tropically speaking. It will not turn into a tropical depression, storm, hurricane, anything. We do not have to worry about the tropics for quite some time. Okay. So make sure that you stay focused on the heat though, because the heat's not going anywhere. Okay. So now that we've taken a look at what's currently happening in our atmosphere with high pressure built in over the Atlantic here, keeping things kind of dry and very hot over much of Florida, except South Florida, where there's still going to be some showers and thunderstorms. And these storms are going to go over top of it and not affect us. Let's take a look at the forecast modeling, shall we? So when we take a look at the forecast modeling here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you the European forecast model first, because the European forecast model tends to be the most accurate model in the world, although the American model has been undergoing some updates that have really put it on par with the European model at this point. But when we look at the modeling here, what this is showing us, ladies and gentlemen, is where there's area where we may see showers and thunderstorms over the next few days. And what we look for is these areas of green right here. Those are small showers. Those are going to be your light showers, maybe a light thunderstorm. But then when you get to these oranges that are up here in southern Georgia, that's where you get into your more intense showers and even some thunderstorms that could be strong at times. So that's what we're looking at here. And you're going to notice at the top here, it's going to show you the timestamp. So this is for Sunday, July 2nd at 8 p.m. I'm currently recording this video at roughly 10 o'clock Sunday night. I've tried recording this video a few times as I'm working through some new software, and hopefully third time's a charm. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What I want you to notice is as I step this through time, when we get to tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, no real rain around. What the pattern has during the summer here is at night, when the daytime heating goes away, so do the thunderstorms and showers, because they rely on that heat for energy. And when that energy source is gone, that heat energy is gone, and the sun is gone, it loses its energy source and it just fizzles away and evaporates. But then sometimes when we get to 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock on Monday here, especially since there's some more moisture in the southern part of the state, southern part of the state of Florida than the northern part, you're going to see some showers and storms building at the coastlines first, and then they'll head their way inland. That's a very typical pattern for this time of the year. It's nothing unusual, to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Where you see the areas of yellow right here or darker greens, that's where you're going to have your thunderstorms, your run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, your normal thunderstorms for this time of the year. You'll provide some heavy rain, some brief gusty winds, but it's not going to be anything severe. Okay, and then look at this. Watch this. 5 o'clock tomorrow, which is Monday, showers and thunderstorms in South Florida, right? 8 o'clock, they're all gone. They're all dying. Why? No more sun. No more heat energy. They dissipate because their energy source is gone. And 11 o'clock at night, no rain. No rain at night. 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning, maybe a little bit of Gulf moisture will sneak into the Florida Panhandle. I'm not really buying that, to be honest, because the air is going to be quite a bit drier over here. And then when we get to 11 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, nothing really. 2 o'clock, maybe some activity at the coastlines, but you're going to notice that in South Florida, going into South Central Florida here and Western Florida, you're going to have some thunderstorms, some scattered thunderstorms on Tuesday afternoon and evening across these areas. And then again, by 8 o'clock, it's gone. So really between the hours of 2 p.m. and about 7 p.m. is where you're going to be looking for your scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly in areas from Orlando south and typically more favoring the western part of the state. By 8 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, when most people are going to be doing their fireworks and everything, it's going to be clear. Enjoy. Have fun with your fireworks. But be safe, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be one of those Darwin Award winners, so to speak, that are holding fireworks or are too close to the fireworks, and then they wonder why they have to be in the hospital that night. Possibly losing fingers, like Jason Pierre-Paul, one of the great defensive ends of the past in football, did. Ladies and gentlemen, please be safe and please be smart. And the last thing I'm going to show you before I get into the Florida Weather Watch forecast for that I have created for the 4th of July weekend is the heat. The heat is not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the heat index, this is the heat index, ladies and gentlemen. And what this is showing us is what it's going to feel like at certain times of the day. And I'm showing you the heat index because it's actually what we feel on our bodies. It's a combination of the actual temperature, the humidity in the atmosphere, and the winds in the atmosphere. So when we get into, let's go ahead and skip ahead to 4th of July. Okay. When we get into 4th of July on Tuesday, it's going to feel like the 70s in the morning, maybe at the 80s along the coastlines where it's more moist and humid. And then 8 o'clock rolls around. That's when the sun starts coming up, and bada boom, it starts warming up big time. By 11 o'clock in the morning, heat indices across the entire state of Florida will be in the mid to upper 90s. Port St. Lucie at 99 degrees. Tallahassee at 97. Tampa at 96. Orlando at 98. Miami at 96. And Jacksonville at 98. Okay. And then when we get to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when it's really going to be hot across the entire state. There's not going to be any relief from this heat unless you get those scattered thunderstorms, honestly. Those scattered thunderstorms are a godsend sometimes because it finally breaks the intense heat in the atmosphere. Look at this. Tallahassee, 103. Jacksonville, 104. Gainesville, 101. Orlando, 104. Tampa, 101. Cape Coral, 105. Port St. Lucie, 101. Miami, 100. Okay. It's going to be very hot because what's going to happen and why it's going to be mostly focused on the western part and the interior part is because of that high pressure in the Atlantic that when air comes across, it's going to warm up. 5 o'clock in the evening, this is where you could tell where your showers and thunderstorms are because look at this. Look at this right here. This little pocket of cooler temperatures. That's where your heat relief is because in this model, that's where the most rain and the scattered thunderstorms are. Okay, so anywhere you get scattered showers and thunderstorms on 4th of July, you'll finally break the heat. But everywhere else is going to be hot, ladies and gentlemen. There's no going about it. And when it's hot outside, ladies and gentlemen, a little PSA for all of my folks out there in Florida. Please do not walk your pets outside during the heat of the day because something that many people don't realize is, let's say, yeah, sure, it may be 93 degrees in Miami, but the pavement itself is going to be at least 30 to 40 degrees hotter than that temperature because concrete and pavement stores heat a lot quicker than air does. And it could burn your pet's paws if you walk them during this type of heat. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to walk your animals, please walk them in the morning hours before 11 o'clock in the morning, and please walk them in the evening and after sunset, where the pavement will not be as hot and it will be much more comfortable for your pets to walk. Just a little PSA. And so let's go ahead and let's smooth into our final part of this forecast video, my weather forecast for 4th of July weekend. We're going to see temperatures, afternoon highs across the state of Florida in the 90s, widespread. Maybe afternoon highs in the upper 80s along the immediate coastlines here on the East Coast, where they'll be feeling the little bit of an easterly flow from the Atlantic. Other than that, everywhere is going to be hot. And I'm looking at mostly dry conditions, maybe an isolated shower or two in the morning hours across the northern part of Florida. But in the southern half of Florida from Orlando down towards Homestead, and especially focusing on Fort Myers and the Naples area up to Tampa, you're going to see scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms that could bring some heavy rain between roughly 2 o'clock to about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening before everything dies down at night and you can enjoy your fireworks. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July, Independence Day with you and your families and your friends. Have fun, celebrate. Make sure you're careful about the heat outside. Okay, don't overdo it. Make sure you hydrate plenty out there. Watch out for your pets and animals and for yourselves as well. And without further ado, I will always close out my YouTube videos by quoting my late great cross country coach, Jim Richardson. There'll be weather, whether or not. But whatever the weather will be, wet or hot, I'll be here tracking along the way. Have a wonderful evening, and I really hope, by the way, that you enjoy my new intro and my new outro videos that open and close out these videos. Please let me know what you think about those as well in the comments below. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. 4th of July weekend holiday coming up.